Hi, and welcome to First Bite, a Nation's Restaurant News podcast. I'm your host, Holly Petrie. Today is Wednesday, November 2nd, and here are your top stories. First, the next generation of ghost kitchens is stepping out from the shadows. Ghost kitchens and virtual brands in a post-pandemic world will favor more flexible, transparent business models from industry veterans like Reef and Next Bite to newcomers like Umi and Meal Outpost. Second, nearly half of all small restaurant businesses couldn't pay rent in October. New data from Alignable shows that rent delinquency among small businesses jumped by 7%, with restaurants at 49%. Third, Tijuana Flats names Joe Christina CEO. The former Church's Texas Chicken executive named to head the fast casual brand. Fourth, what a strong insurance partner can bring to the table. Having the support of a strong insurance partner is critical in good times and in bad, especially for the restaurant industry. And finally, don't forget to do this one thing before the end of 2022. Here's why celebrating your team's relational wins is critical to your success. Now let's dive deeper into one of these stories. At the height of the pandemic, when dining rooms were closed, the phrase ghost kitchen entered the public lexicon, and the new hot delivery-only concepts opened their hidden doors almost every day. But as the post-pandemic dust settles, the off-premises restaurant industry is evolving beyond the rush of flash-in-the-pan, celebrity-backed chicken nugget concepts. Virtual restaurant companies are in it for the long haul. They're stepping out of the dark kitchen shadows to combine off and on-premises experiences, and many are avoiding the phrase ghost kitchen altogether. Let's hear more from senior editor Joanna Fantozzi.
I basically was thinking that we've been writing a lot about ghost kitchens and virtual restaurants for a long time, and I know that you did all these roundups in 2020, almost every month, of all the latest virtual restaurant concepts out there. And I'd started getting pitches from both new ghost kitchens / virtual restaurant companies and kind of like the old standbys and talking about what they're doing new. And it got me thinking, what is the next evolution of ghost kitchens going to be? And after interviewing several of these virtual restaurant companies, off-premises focused companies, I'm hesitating to use the word ghost kitchen too much because several of them did tell me that they hate that phrase and would prefer I don't use it. But anyway, after doing several of these interviews, basically what I'm seeing is that transparency and flexibility is the future of ghost kitchens. And I kind of made a Halloween pun since it was published on Halloween, saying that the ghost kitchens are stepping out from the shadows. And I think that, when you think of virtual brands and ghost kitchens, in 2019 and 2020, you might think of suddenly a restaurant pops up on your favorite food delivery app and you're like, what is this? Where is it located? And it has a very simple menu, usually maybe one category, like chicken nuggets or burgers. And you're like, where did this come from? And it's surprise, it is a virtual brand, it is a ghost kitchen, and you don't know where it's located or who runs it, etc. And now that's just becoming not as popular anymore. Now there are companies that are saying that they want to do this a little bit different. So I spoke with a couple of new virtual restaurant companies. That would be Umi and Meal Outpost. And both of them basically spoke about just kind of being transparent about the process, both for the restaurant that they might be partnering with and for the customers. So they know exactly where their food is coming from. At Umi, which is a digital food hall, a virtual food hall, we've written about those a ton of times. But this one, you can actually show up. It's not like out of the back of some warehouse. And they have neon lights. It says Umi, and they're located in Texas, by the way. And you can pick up your food in person. You can't eat there because that would defeat the purpose of it being a ghost kitchen. But they're not trying to be so covert, I guess, anymore. And that's kind of the trend that I am seeing for sure.
Now, you wrote previously about the fact that there was no transparency in a lot of these restaurants that are popping up on these websites before, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And that is, I think that, yes, I've written previously about that. And I think that what restaurants are realizing and these virtual restaurant companies are realizing that customers want transparency. They want to know who they're ordering from. They don't want to try and guess as to what chicken nugget or burger place am I ordering from. And then suddenly, you look up the address, and it's this place that is down the street from me, and they're operating a ghost kitchen out the back of their restaurant. And people just want to know more about where they're ordering from. But I will say the other thing that kept coming up when interviewing, especially the industry stalwarts, as I'm calling them, Reef and Next Bite, which have been in the industry for a long time, unlike Meal Outpost and Umi, who are brand new. They haven't even launched yet, honestly. But Reef and Next Bite are both saying that what they found is really important is flexibility, and them being flexible in terms of how they operate and being able to combine both off and on-premises experiences, maybe as sort of a hybrid ghost kitchen in-person model. And Reef specifically was talking about how they want the restaurants that they partner with to be flexible, and they want them to be willing to say, hey, we will be willing to operate out of an airport, out of a hotel, and with multiple brands in one vessel or pod, as that's what they call their ghost kitchens. So I think that those are kind of the main themes that we're seeing. And I think that the ghost kitchens version 2.0 are kind of learning from the mistakes that maybe came from the gold rush, as one of my sources called it, the gold rush of ghost kitchens that happened a couple of years ago. And we're now kind of just seeing the dust settle and seeing what actually is going to exist and prosper in the long run.
Thanks for listening to today's episode of First Bite. We'll be back tomorrow with a brand new one. Until then, stay up to date with all your news at nrn.com.